Good morning, goeiemorgen, kia ora, and to the Cape Townians, away. Guys and girls, my name is Viljoen, all the way from Welcome Bay here in Tauranga. I hope you are all having a beautiful morning, the ones that are in New Zealand, and to the guys in South Africa, I hope you have a safe one. The picture you saw there was out of my, how can I say, office here. The wife says I get distracted by that beautiful view every day, so that's me. This morning we're talking a bit about finances, and then we're going to have a live draw for our tickets to tomorrow night in Tapuke. Good morning, Johan. Good morning, Away, Sean. Guys and girls, let's talk money. All right, money point one is the one thing that divides by 10 if you come to New Zealand. So you bring your rands here, you take 10 and you divide it by that, and that's roughly what you end up with in New Zealand. So that's not a good thing at all. You could be a millionaire in South Africa, but you won't be one in New Zealand. So except if you have a big one of these. That's a wallet. All right, if you've got a big wallet, you probably have a lot of money, and you could easily survive this side. On the other hand, stuff is not that more expensive in New Zealand than in South Africa. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it this morning for you, but I'm going to give you the straight out facts. So money wise, let's talk money. Vehicles, cars you can buy from, I would say a decent car you could get anywhere in the region of about 10,000, but you could end up paying a bit more if you want a newer model. There's a lot of Japan or Japanese imports here. They differ all the way from, I would say, 2,000 all the way up to the way to $18,000. That's in South African rand, is between 20,000 rand and $180,000. So divide or times everything by 10 this morning that I give you the amounts in dollars for. Rentals this side is quite expensive. I saw what rentals cost in South Africa, and it's about double the price here. Rentals we pay every week. You can easily pay from $550 upwards to about $800, $900 per week, depending on where you are in New Zealand. That's also a big thing. Location. If you're in Auckland, you must expect to pay more. The fuel in Auckland also costs more because they are paying for a fuel levy that they are going to use to build some railroads there. So, that's what I last heard about what the fuel levy was all about. So that is the one side about vehicles. Living costs not that much more expensive than in South Africa. Now I'm talking about water. My water has gone up here. I'm in Welcome Bay now. In the past I was down in Papamoa. The water was quite inexpensive there. It's gone up to about $30, I would say, a month now here. So that's about 300 rand a month for water, and I use a lot. I don't irrigate my gardens, but we sometimes 3 to 4 people showering twice a day, so keep that in mind. On the other side, my power bill in New Zealand I find is less than in South Africa, and I find although I use gas here as well, we've got gas for heating and gas for heating the water. So our gas cylinder, or let's say our hot water cylinder, is a gas cylinder. I hope that makes sense to you. So that's on the one side. A gas cylinder is running on a hot water cylinder is running on gas, and then, sorry, my tower is just falling over here. And then that's costing me about $100 every 6 weeks. So that's about another expense. Some of the places have got pipe gas. That's gas running into the area with a pipe. We lived in Papamoa, and there was pipe gas, and it was about 20%, 30% more expensive there than what I've got here. And I've got bottles here. They deliver the bottles to my place. I've got an app on the phone, and they just deliver via that way. On the other side, my electricity currently is about $200, and I use a heat pump, or aircon, as you guys know in South Africa. It's called a heat pump this side, although it makes it cool as well. I use that every morning, so my electricity is about $200 there. Money wise, should you go into the bank and you want to invest your money, you're going to get about 1% or 0.5 some places. I know if you put your money, if you fix it for a period of 3 to 5 years, then the interest rate's a bit more, but I'm not going to give you that interest rates this morning, as I didn't have them here. On the other side, we offer from our South African company, One Rock, we offer investments into Australia, into the Allan Gray portion of Australia there, and we do that, and the interest there differs between 6% up all the way up to about 13.5%, depending on what fund you are. On the other way around, I see you're asking $200. Oh yeah, sorry. The electricity and water is all per month. Only the rental is per week. The rental's per week. I've got a vehicle. The vehicle's value is about $15,000, and I pay per month about $35 for insurance. So 350 Rand a month for $150,000 Rand vehicle. So I find that way cheaper than in South Africa. In South Africa, my vehicle was worth about 200,000 Rand, and I paid 1,600 Rand per month on insurance. So let's give you that figure. So insurance on your vehicles even is cheaper here than back home. I find the content insurance to be a bit more expensive, but not major. In South Africa, I think our content insurance was 300 Rand a month, and here it's about 450 Rand a month, or $45 a month. So small changes on that. With that $15, I can live, as I've got 3 cars that are insured through and that I pay for, and the split or the difference that I score there is way more than what I would have paid in South Africa. So that's on the one side. On the other side, if you want to buy a house, this is where it becomes hectic. House prices in New Zealand is absolutely through the roof. It took me about 6 months to understand why. I couldn't understand why a wooden house would be that expensive. On the other, then I went back and I had a look at everything else. And what happens in New Zealand is you pay for labor. Labor is very expensive here. So a good tradie will earn about $35 to $40 an hour. If you go to plumbers, they basically get that as well. Tilers can even go up to $60, $70 an hour. So that is the prices you got to pay if you want to build a house. So whoever built a house paid that prices in labor. Plus then your raw materials is quite expensive here. Even stuff like wood. New Zealand's got a lot of wood, but they export the logs out, and then they import the wood that's in planks, and so they import that into New Zealand back, and you've got to pay a premium for that, unfortunately. So you're looking at a good house price. I know that the average they want to love us to say is about 550, but it's not there. You're talking about an average price of a house of about $700,000. That's 7 million Rand for a wooden house. Forget that I said million Rand. Get into your mind that it's $700,000. $700,000 is affordable, while 7 million Rand in South Africa is probably not affordable for most people. So that is just the different ways around paying a house back. We had Andre on the show, I think it was last week, and he gave us a figure of about 3.3%. That is the interest rate currently in New Zealand on house repayments if you've got about 20% deposit. Don't quote me on that, but that is where you're roughly looking at. And just that difference in interest rate between South Africa's, about 9% to 3%, that makes a big difference per month on your pocket. You can also repay your house by week, by fortnight, which is every 2 weeks, or by month. All depends on how you get paid. Now in New Zealand, most people get paid either weekly or fortnightly. Very few people actually get paid by month. And in South Africa, that is the norm, is to get paid by month. So within 3 days, you've got no money left and you're broke for the rest of the month. And it's salty cracks, that time of the month cookies for you. But here, at least, if you get paid weekly, you've got money every week coming in, even though it's not the monthly amount, but your stuff is split out over weekly, and that is why rentals is also on a weekly basis. A good rental, as I said, between 550 to about 800. House prices also differ between areas, and I've heard some places in the South Island is much cheaper. Your smaller towns is cheaper, but if your smaller town is near to a big town, it influences the price there as well. So if you got a small town there in the sticks, as they call it here, that means they're in the Grammadula, South Afrikaans people. then probably you've got a bit of a cheaper rental that side, or a bit cheaper house price. But on the other hand, if you are in either the Tauranga, Hamilton, Auckland, even Wellington areas, your house prices tend to go up quite hectic. Some places in the South Island, I've heard that houses is as low as $300,000, but in Tauranga you would struggle to find anything good. Let me say anything good below 550. The big thing that eats into the house price is also what they call the plot price. So the piece of land, and the piece of land here is not that very much big. They're currently selling pieces of land about 400 to 600 square meters between $300,000 and $350,000. So half your price of your house goes into the plot at the bottom. So keep that in mind. Except the higher labor rates, the plot price is also very much elevated. At the end of the day, that is something you need to have. You can't build, or you can't have a land or a house without a plot. So it's very much a catch-22 situation. You're either going to pay the price, or you're going to rent for the rest of your life. Now, getting to the point where you can buy, the big thing there is to save up a good deposit. So the bigger the deposit, the lower your interest rate. That's just the way it works in New Zealand. You can buy a house from as little as 5%. Let's quickly get a figure here. It's on a 700,000 house. That is 5%. You need to save up $35,000. That is 350,000 rand. It is possible to do that. Let me be quite frank on that. It is possible to do that. If both people are working, you can do that. That is on 5%. On 10% will be $70,000, and on your required 20%, or let me say the big banks 120%, that gives you $140,000. And that's on a $700,000 house. $700,000 house is an average price here. The house that I live in, even if it's in Welcome Bay, is more up to $800,000. So that is a quick comparison. If anybody's got any questions at this stage, please throw them my way and let's see if I can answer them. We find on average stuff like your life cover is cheaper here. Non-smokers, let me rephrase it. Non-smoker life cover is very much cheaper here than in South Africa. Also, depending on the type of company that you were with in South Africa. On the other hand, if you are a smoker, that's an expensive story. Smoker rates are double what the normal rates are, but even that is a bit cheaper than in South Africa. A packet of cigarettes run between $28 and $32. That's 280 Rand and 320 Rand for a packet of 20 cigarettes. Okay, have you got that? That's more than enough reason why you should stop smoking as soon as possible. Stacey's got a question here for us. Can you get life insurance even though you don't have PR? Stacey, I get that question asked basically every day. You can get life insurance if you've got a work visa. Without a work visa, you cannot get life insurance. They are expecting you, if you've got a work visa, to eventually go for residence and then PR and then citizenship. So all over this, if you are here on a work visa, you can get life insurance, you can get disability insurance, you can get income protector, you can get, what else is there? Income protector, disability, your dreaded diseases as well. So that's on the one part. That is what you can get while you are here on a work visa. If you have residence, you can buy a house. If you have residence, you can do so much more than just being on a work visa here. So I think anybody that arrives here on a work visa, get your stuff ready, get your insurances ready, get everything as quick as possible, and in the long run, then work towards getting your residence as quickly as possible. It does cost a few bucks. Nothing is for free, but at the end of the day, it's so much worth more to you than just being here on a work visa. On a residence, you can have KiwiSaver. What KiwiSaver is, yes, KiwiSaver is very much like your RA or your retirement annuity in South Africa. If you save $100, and between you and your employer, they normally, employers normally contribute between 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10%, and you can also contribute in that same 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10% region. And if you both contribute towards your KiwiSaver per month at the rate of about $100 a month, then the government will once a year add on their $521. That is just as a thank you. It goes into your KiwiSaver. You can't access it, but you can access it after 3 years to buy your first house with. We've got a question here from Herman Meyer saying, the fire in Auckland, who is liable for the damage, the person causing the fire or the company? I don't know, depending on probably how the fire started. That's quite a difficult question there. As you all said, or have seen, there's a massive fire in Auckland. They thought they had it under control, but I see this morning it's flared up again. Our convention center, which was is building, they are going to have to rebuild now. So, all right. Sean asking, Jan, do you know if you need life insurance when buying a home in New Zealand? It's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. And I can promise you, if you walk into the bank to open your first bank account, that guy sitting at the bank is trying to sell you everything. He was even trying to sell you KiwiSaver on a work visa. That is, those guys in the banks, they just want to push for one thing. That's sell. That's part of the incentive, or part of what they must earn per month. So all that they go out is they try to sell the whole time. Myself as a financial advisor, when I sat down with them just to open my account, I said to them, guys, I am a financial advisor. If I'm going to buy life insurance, I'll buy it from myself. And they still kept on trying for about an hour, trying to sell me life insurance. And yeah, but at the end of the day, I've got 5 hard bypasses, so getting life insurance is not an easy thing for me. So yeah, I was actually declined by every company in New Zealand except one. So that's on the one side of money. On the other side of money is bringing money over. It's important to get a good rate. We do have a company that we support in South Africa. They are there. And once you are here, it's probably the best thing to do, financial immigration, to get your retirement annuities out of South Africa as well. The reason why I said it's a good thing to get your retirement annuities out of South Africa, you never know where the rand dollar is going to go. Currently, it's roughly flirting with about 9.50 rand to $1. If things go worse, I doubt it can go really that worse in South Africa. It's already very bad. If it goes worse, you have to think about the fact that the dollar can go to 15 rand to $1. That would effectively half your value of whatever you've got in South Africa. I also get asked a lot of times, what's the best, would you sell your house in South Africa? Do you keep it, do you rent it out? Just remember, financial immigration, if you still owe money on the house, it can't happen. So keep that in mind. Keeping your house and living in New Zealand, for myself, and I'm not even going to take the chance to play with your emotions. On my own, I thought that would be something that I would keep on thinking about. That would be something that will keep on reminding me of South Africa. And my thoughts will always be, in what state is my house? Is my tenant there looking after my house? What happens if my tenant does not pay me? There's a lot of things, and I didn't want to go back to South Africa. I didn't want to go live there again. So why would I keep a house there? That was stuff that went through my mind. I was very lucky. I put my house out on the market. I refused to give any company the sole mandate. I just felt that if you got a buyer, you got a buyer. Don't come out with sole mandates and it'll get me faster buyers. So I gave my company or my house to about, I think, 15 or 20 different companies at the same time. They drove us mad. The house never went on show once, and I got 50,000 rand less than what I was asking for. So that's as easy as that. Yolanda Hubert asking, can you get your South African retirement paid out with only work visa? Yes, you can. If you have a plan to not go back to South Africa, you can get that paid out even if you are on a work visa, but you have to financially immigrate. Remember, the company we use, financial immigration, costs you only 9,500 rand, not dollars, 9,500 rand for the whole family. You would need to do the kids as well. If the kids ever get an inheritance from South Africa, they would need to be financially immigrated before that happens. So guys, that's in short money this morning. We got about 10 minutes left over. So if there are any other questions regarding this, we can take that as well. I'm in the process of buying a new car, so I've been shopping around for cars. I nearly bought one in Auckland, so this is about a bit of warning to everybody that comes from South Africa and wants to buy a car over Trade Me or through the internet. Guys, beware, really. I paid my $500 deposit on this car in Auckland just to come there to see that the whole front of the car was really badly smashed in, and they never took a picture that we could see that. They never took noted that on the advertisement or anything. So if I have paid the full price for that car and I would have received it, let's say I was from South Africa and I wanted to buy this car, it was actually a good price. I wanted to buy this vehicle, then I would have been stuck with a vehicle that was in a nasty crash. So to be quite frank, that car was supposed to be in a full frontal crash, and I doubt if they even had the airbags in that car. I didn't even look that further. Once I saw that it had a crash, I just walked away. So I'm still waiting for my $500 deposit. I've sent them an email, so let's hope we get that. Buying a car could be worth your while, but do not pay more than $500 deposit until you've seen it, and make it quite clear per email. Put it in writing there that you would not take the car if there's any crashes or anything else wrong with it, and you have the final say if you want it or not. So the deposit will just be for them to keep the car. Herman Meyer asking, is the 9,500 Rand, is that depending on the amount to be transferred? No. The 9,500 Rand is to do the financial immigration. They do charge you as a stupid amount, something like 400 Rand or something, to do the conversion from Rand to dollars at the end of the day. But to do financial immigration is quite a big thing. You got to open a Rand blocked account. You got to get the letter from the Reserve Bank. You got to get SARS permission, everything all around. And that's all they do for you at the same time. And that's what they charge 9,500 Rand for. That's for the whole family. It's not per person, it's for the whole family. Jackie asking, at what stage did you put your house on the market in South Africa? Did you have a job offer where the visa's ready? Quickly go back to that. I had my job offer. We have already applied. I've applied to immigration in September. We had the job offer, applied to immigration in September. We applied for residence. That was part of what we agreed with the owner of the business in New Zealand, that we would apply for residence. And my wife also said she's not coming to New Zealand if we don't have residence. She's not taking the chance on a work visa. She's not coming back to South Africa. So at that stage, that was September. I put the house on the market, and by September or by December, within 3 months, it was totally sold. I moved out of my house on the 1st of January, and I gave it off at, I think it was the 3rd of Jan. The new people moved in. Herman Meyer, hope you are buying a Ford Ranger. No, mate. Sorry. Neither Ford or Land Rover. It's not one of those. Yeah, but I am looking at something else. Are there any examples of when you don't need to financially immigrate? Lisa, yeah, if you've got nothing left in South Africa, currently they've changed the law to say if you work offshore and more than I think it's 90 days out of the country or in the country, then you are liable to pay your tax onshore again as well. The problem is you don't know if they're going to change that law to people living permanently offshore. They can also change the laws as much as they want to. South Africa is running out of money at a major rate. Things are really bad in that country currently. How long they can survive this, I've just read an economic writing from a few of the economists in South Africa, and it's even worse than even what I thought it would be. Sadly, the ruling party there has got no idea how to run money, and I don't think they are going to learn very soon. In the long run, I believe that if they run out of money, they'll do quite weird things to get money in. One of them could be to tax people outside of South Africa, even if you're never going to go back to South Africa, but you still have South African citizenship. They could even ask you a tax on that. As they've said, as they've proven now, if you're working offshore, they are going to tax you if you earn more than 1 million Rand. Now, to earn more than 1 million Rand offshore is not that difficult. You get paid in dollars. The US dollar to the South African Rand is 1 to 15. So it's very easy to go over that curve of 1 million Rand. So, and then probably they would be they'll be charging you at the top rate there. Zalaru asking, so we did 30 minutes on financial immigration. I will drop you the link a bit later there. Guys, it's about 7:25 here. A lovely morning. A cooler morning actually this morning. We started the morning off at about 7, but it wasn't a cold 7. It's quite weird. It actually had a good morning. So there's the whole list of everybody. We had a bit of a draw, so we had a whole list. Sorry, I can't show you due to the Privacy Act. Let me put that straight. I can't show you the names. But we had 2 tickets that we're giving away for tomorrow night in Tapuki for South Africans. It's a new show that's running around the world about people immigrating. So I think that would be something good for South Africans to see. It's in English. So, all right, let's do a bit of a draw. Let's do 3. We'll get 3 out there. It's number 1. Goodness me. There's a number 2. And there's a number 3. Now all of these connect to back to my list. Number 1, Shauna. Number 2, Deal. Sorry, I couldn't read your name. Number 7, Amanda. So, all right, let's chuck those in there and draw one of them. Number 7, Amanda. I'll call Amanda a bit later this morning. Amanda, welcome. We'll see that your tickets get to you. It's tomorrow night in Tapuki, I think at about 6 or 6:30. My wife has made the arrangements there. The tickets are still on its way, but we'll have it a bit later today. Herman, may I ask another question? If you don't pay tax in South Africa, how do you get tax clearance in South Africa? Herman, I'll drop a link a bit later on this talk, and you can just contact them. They do tax clearances as well. I know if you're a client of theirs, they don't charge you for tax clearances. Otherwise, there would be a small fee on that. Any other questions this morning? Any other things on money? What else do you need on money? Clothing, although the ranges is less extensive than South Africa, you do have the normal clothes. You've got all your big shops. You've got all your. You don't have the Edgars and those type of things, but you've got stuff like Just Jeans. You've got Cotton On. I see here. Let me not go into the clothing story. That's not my forte there. But the clothing price is not much more than in South Africa. So whatever your clothing budget was in South Africa, you probably get around to the same type of clothing budget. Then you get your very lower price clothing as well, which is not that bad clothing. Your warehouse clothing and that type of thing. So all of that is very much affordable. As I said, food is not so much more expensive than in South Africa. And just want to answer Herman Meyer's. I'm not going to give a car away, or not soon. Except if you guys sponsor me a car, I'm willing to give the car away. So, guys, then what else is there that's expensive? Stuff like movie tickets. If you're really in the movie fundu, you take movie tickets. Movie tickets is a bit more expensive than South Africa, but we still got stuff here like Netflix. We got Showmax. We don't get DSTV here. You can get Sky, which is expensive, very much the same as DSTV, but it's not needed. You got Freeview in New Zealand, which is a free television thing. You got to buy a little box for about $25, a small box like a DSTV box. You can get a very grand one that can type stuff. It's not needed. If you've got a good internet connection, you can always look up stuff like that has been passed. They give you a link there, or they give an app on this box that you can always go back to previous episodes for about a year and watch them all. So we're currently busy with MasterChef Australia, me and the wife. I'm still waiting for her creations out of the kitchen to stun me. So, all right, quick questions here. Johan asking about beds. Johan, beds are expensive. It's very expensive, to be quite frank. We bought a bed the other day that was on a 50% discount. I think we paid $3,000 for that. Very, very good bed, but if it was full price, it would have been 60,000 rand. It's very expensive, but just one of those things. And then a prediction on the World Cup this weekend. New Zealand. All right, let's cut the rugby talk out there. Antonio asking, if you're 53 years old, are you on time to enter New Zealand? Your time is running out, Antonio. If you are 53 years old, time is running out. So if you want to come, you got to move. Ideally, cost of water, I'm currently paying $30 per month. So Yep, Sean, I'm glad to see that Sean Lange is also backing the All Blacks. Guys and girls, that's me. That's our time has come and gone this morning. It's crazy. And while we wait for the internet to pick up speed, we'll show you what outside our house looks like quickly. Thanks a lot. My name is Jan Viljoen, all the way from Welcome Bay. I'm a financial advisor and I help people with their insurance in New Zealand. So thanks again until next Wednesday evening. And before I go, next Wednesday evening, we are talking with the deputy principal of a school. This is going to be quite an interesting talk. So get all your questions, all the mums out there, get all your questions ready. We'll advertise this quite widely, and then we'll see you all. Until next week, guys, that's me, over and out. Thanks, eh?